Okay, should be live. All the chats should be activated. Finishing the online notifications to let people know that I'm streaming. And I think we're about set. Hope tonight finds everyone well. Hope you've had a good week. I apologize for my lateness. I took a bit of a nap and did not wake up when my alarm went off. It has been a good week, but it has been a long week. So I am getting last pits. Pits okay. The plan for tonight is some cursed gun images. Then Harvest Moon 64. Then Baldur's Gate 3. That's ominous. You have my sympathies up too. Alright, is my tracking going to work this time? Now, I will actually be streaming tomorrow. Due to a series of change in plans, I should have time, so I am planning on it at least. I certainly hope to stream tomorrow. And yeah, tomorrow's stream will be different. We're probably going to play a little bit of something. Won't be very long. It's just to get the stream going, a little bit of time. Afterwards, we will have a reading from Up To on the history of Atari. I believe that I am about to become the narrator for some history video. And then I am finally going to take the plunge. I have been thinking about doing this for forever. And I've seen a ton of YouTubers that I watch do this, and I'm finally going to do it. We're going to react to Shoe on Head. So tomorrow is going to be interesting. However, that is tomorrow. Tonight, like I said, we are doing some cursed gun memes, which are always funny. Then, like I said, Harvest Moon 64, I have the new controller plugged in already. And Baldur's Gate 3, which I have been playing with the Baldur's Gate 3 Isekai mod. It has some great ideas, but it is very much of the bad Isekai stereotype with way too overpowered of options. I think I figured out how to modify some of them, but I'll tell you right now, if anyone can figure out how to do a mod to my specifications, I would love to talk. And finally, I am one of the first 300 people to be monetized on Beam. So, Beam was already looking to become the favorite just in terms of what it offers as a streaming platform. Them monetizing me is obviously a huge, holy crap, yay. So we will be doing a Beam exclusive stream soon, and I will begin trying to nudge people that way. I understand that D Live has its own encouragements to stay on the platform, which, yay, platforms that do that, but Beam has been making a lot of like good moves in spite being very, very new. And monetization is good for them too. I always say this about every platform. you should monetize your small creators, not just your big ones, because 1,000 people bringing in a couple dollars each, that means that those streams that you normally would be supporting at a complete loss are at least starting to pay for themselves, and it encourages your streamers to stream more. The main reason how you trigger it is you need to follow, subscribe over there. Now, I'm pretty sure that means that you are going to continue to get ad breaks in Beam. I have no control over it right now. It's just an on or off switch, and mine got turned on. But that is how Beam is going to work. And I understand, I get the ad hatred. I do understand that YouTube and Twitch have really turned people off. It's that or donations for streamers, unfortunately. So I will continue to look for rewards. I will continue to work to expand things. But yeah, I need to plan a Beam stream very, very soon as a thank you for monetizing type celebration. I think those are my heads up and notifications for the night. I don't think I have anything else. Like I said, the big one is that I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to plan to start at the same time as I normally do. And I don't know what little filler game I'm going to do for the 20 minutes or whatever start just to get us going. Maybe I'll see if I can find an Atari thing to pull out. Assuming I can get it set in time. We'll have to see. Anyways, that is it for our announcements and heads ups. I really need to reset my pad up. For now, though, we have Return of Cursed Gun Images / Cursed Gun Memes. This absolute nonsense. From Brandon Herrera. Should already be linked in the descriptions. I will then link the video when we are done, as always. Yeah, these are always so bad. That is not the correct mouse. I need to remember I use the other mouse now. It's gonna be him running away.
Oh, man, what's up?
Hey, what you doing there, bud?
Oh, nothing.
Excuse
Just
you?
up here cranking Melody.
Excuse you?
This thing's just a badass anti-tank rifle, man. I'm excited to film with it.
Yeah, but we don't have Desperado to film at anymore.
Fuck. Yeah, kind of still figuring that part out. In the meantime, what's something else we could film that we don't need Desperado for? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Hi
Yes.
there, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cursed Gun Images. Yay. If you guys aren't familiar with the concept of Cursed Gun Images, it's when you guys find the most heinous shit you possibly can when it comes to firearms, or poorly modded firearms, or just bad stuff, and you bring it to me. And you're all proud and shit about it too, like a cat bringing in a dead ferret. And I talk about them here on this series, as much as some of them pain me. You wonder why you drive me to drink. I think it's been over a year since we've done one of these too, so I guess I'm long overdue for it. All right, that's enough procrastinating. Let's get this over with.
Yep.
Let's start out kind of mild and work our way in. I should call her. Are you a fan of space age guns, but also kind of a sucker for the classics? Well, let me introduce you to this. A P90 Thompson hybrid.
Oh, I've seen
the-
that nightmare.
Thompson 90. I think it's supposed to be like the P. Thompson 90. I like to picture somebody trying to say that. P. Thompson. I'm a child. This one just looks to be a Thompson, like a functional 45 ACP Thompson submachine gun with, I guess, P90 furniture just crudely attached to it. The inclusion of the little reflex sight there on top of the handguards. Kind of funny.
That
Fuck,
is
if they
really
went that
far
far,
away
this
from
thing's
you.
actually probably pretty functional. Honestly, you can't get much worse than the original ergos on the Thompson, so this might actually be kind of an improvement. Next up, speaking of the classics, we have
That is an unfortunate truth. The Thompson looks amazing. It is actually a nightmare to use. A lot of people don't realize that. Oh, how do you make the Thompson work? Or the Thompson? Here, it's real easy. Shockingly enough. It's just the Thompson receiver, trigger, magazine, and barrel with a with the front wooden grip replaced with the forward plastic grip of a P90, and then the handle and stock, the wooden handle and stock replaced with the grip and stock of a P90. And okay, so the Thompson actually is not great. It sits very high against your shoulder. You can see that the stock comes down pretty far. This puts your front grip up pretty far. Ironically, the forward pistol grip was a little bit better because of this, because it lets your hand be in a more comfortable position. The Thompson is also notoriously heavy for what it is. It was a nightmare to carry in combat. It's really weird that it looks really good, but it is actually uncomfortable for any extended use. These kinds of magazines often become improvised grips for this very reason. Ironically enough, because the Thompson lowers the gun, because now the buttstock is direct. Now the firing angle is directly against your shoulder instead of like down here. In terms of where the recoil is going, it is actually going to be more stable to use in this configuration. Though this cutout is definitely going to eat your hand. Your hand will lose position and it will chew away at your hand. This could still be a more vertical foregrip instead of the half vertical, half rifle grip that it currently is. Ergonomically, it's but yeah, the buttstock change in particular is ironically good for this thing.
The inclusion of the little reflex sight there on top of the handguard, it's kind of funny. Fuck, if they went that far, this thing's actually probably pretty functional. Honestly, you can't get much worse than the original ergos on the Thompson, so this might actually be kind of an improvement. Next up, speaking of the classics, we have the Obrezd PPSH 41, which if you know how sought after these things are in the States, it just hurts my heart, especially with how crude the shroud's cut. I mean, maybe it's just winter, because we all know that the PP... I can't even finish that joke. That is so bad. Next, camera on gun to trap crooks. Photographic identifications of fleeing criminals may be obtained with a recently perfected camera which is attached to the pistol or rifle and worked by the gun's trigger. The lens used can work at an opening of f3.5, which permits the camera to be used in comparatively poor light and at high speed. The small negatives are sharp enough to be enlarged. Does nobody see the problem with this? They even clarified fleeing criminals. So if you want photographic evidence of you shooting a guy in the back while he's running away, this is the gun for you. What a fucking unhinged product description. It's not like
most states do not let you shoot the guy in the back. Now, this would work for like proof that the guy is pointing a gun at you when you fire. Or holding a weapon, because there have been cases where someone did have a weapon, but when they were shot, they dropped it, and it skidded, and it ended up somewhere that the police didn't immediately find it, so it looked like you had shot an unarmed person when they were actually attacking you. But he's right, that description is a nightmare.
Not like body cam, where you could just, take a picture. No, you have to shoot the guy. Really sucks when the department's taking your mugshot and that's the only thing they've got. Like, all right, open wide. It reminds me of that meme. Hold up, let me find it. A Colt 38 revolver from 1938 that automatically takes a photo each time the trigger is pulled. It's just 4 furries and a big-ass spider. Sorry It's not funny. Now up next, God, this takes me back to, you guys remember the Smith and
I shouldn't
Messon?
laugh.
An oldie but goodie from Cursed
Oh,
Gun Images
no.
Past. Well, that's going to be the theme of the next couple.
No.
That's right. We're going straight to Tweaker Tactical. Like this old one.
Good time.
Built this while tripping. No idea what it does. Not trying it either. Honestly, fucking smart. Looks like that thing from Gary's mod.
It looks like a tool gun. It does look like a tool gun. No idea what it does and not try it. That is the correct response. But yeah, it looks like a tool gun, doesn't it?
Not trying it either. Honestly, fucking smart. Looks like that thing from Gary's mod. Oh fuck, it's the tool gun from Gary's mod. It's amazing what you don't know when you go outside. Kidding, I'm still a gamer. Most recently, Eli's gotten me into Metal Gear Solid 5, which I have been playing quite a lot. So this is your early warning sign. Be expecting some Metal Gear content. But back to meth heads. This is your Tech 9. This is your Tech 9 on drugs.
It says Tech 22. But I've never seen... It's a 22. But I have never seen a Tech anything that uses that body type. I've never seen a Tech anything that uses that body type. One moment. There we go. I try it under certain conditions, like not being in the same room when it fires. But yeah, it's... First of all, Techs are round, not square. As...
Back to meth heads. This is your Tech 9.
Yeah, Techs are round, not square. You can see it's... This is basically the... this is the quote-unquote gun part, legally. This lower part, and then the upper part is just the barrel and bolt, for all intents and purposes. They come in both open and closed bolt varieties with a scary amount of barrel options for this complete piece of junk.
9. This is your Tech 9 on drugs.
I don't even know what it's made out of, because this says Tech, but it sure ain't Tech anything. I want to figure out what this is before he says what this is. Though I don't know that I'm going to be able to. At first, I thought it might be like a Mac back end, but that is not a Mac back end. You know what? Screw it. We're just going to let him explain what nonsense this is.
Back to meth heads. This is your Tech 9. This is your Tech 9 on drugs. It's funny, I actually recognize this gun. I think I used to own one. It's an Intratec Tech 22. Back in my day. Oh, fuck. Back in my day. Way back when I was familiar with this anyway. They used to call it the Scorpion, too. Because I guess the way that the magazine was curved. Lance, if you would pull up a photo of the Intratec Tech 22.
I was about to go look it up. I've never seen that thing. I was about to go look. It does look a little bit like a Scorpion. Only the barrel's longer and the Scorpion doesn't look like it's made out of 99-cent plastic. Oh my gosh.
The mag was curved. I guess it kind of looked like a poor man's Scorpion. Like the VZ61.
Yeah,
By all accounts, it was shit. So, there's that. This one just has not been very well taken care of, and the metal's all fucked up, and I wouldn't shoot that. And finally, you know what's going to be good when it's from a news article? Vancouver police arrest man with loaded gun in downtown Eastside Friday. The Vancouver Police Department says it has arrested a man with a loaded gun in downtown Eastside. Yeah, I got that from the fucking top.
That is the back end of a shell. Actually, that might be the back end of a, like, very large cartridge. Yeah, also great writing there. I bumped something.
I would not. Wouldn't shoot that. And finally, you know what's going to be good when it's from a news article? Vancouver police arrest man with loaded gun in downtown Eastside Friday. The Vancouver Police Department says it has arrested a man with a loaded gun in downtown Eastside. Yeah, I got that from the fucking title. Why did I even read that? Fucking journos, man. If you look at this, it's still in the little fucking shitty Walmart holster. Judging by the slope of the holster, it looks like the holster it's in is backwards. But now to that second image, you find something much more concerning. I can see the back of that shotgun shell. If you know anything about guns, that's problematic. You see, the chamber's where all the pressure is. Any action has an equal and opposite reaction, so the amount of force applied forward is also being pushed backward. That's why guns have a very strong chamber, solid reinforcement behind said round. This doesn't have that. So if by some miracle, if you could call it that, this is a functional gun, I would not be the guy who's test firing it.
No thanks, I choose life.
God, that guy definitely didn't go to SDI.edu,
There we go.
where you can get your start in gunsmithing and weapons technology. While we're talking about guns, let's talk about safe storage for a second, which, I'll do as I say, not as I do. But if you live in a place, let's say you got small kids in the house, something like that, you want to make sure your firearms are secure, maybe check out Vera Safety. It's biometric safe storage, like their pistol lock right here.
I want one of these, but they are so
Gun
expensive.
immediately deploys. They also have rifle mounts, so you can keep your bedside very close by while also secure and ready to deploy at a moment's notice. And if you use code Herrera, you can get
I complain about, but yeah, I do feel like they're expensive for what they do. Let me put it that way.
30% off your purchase over at Vera Safety using the links down in the description and in the pinned comment. We appreciate their support. Back to cursed gun images. Up next, we have a revolver, but not just any revolver. You remember the Taurus Judge, like the 410,
This is going to be what I think. This is going to be the Circuit Judge. I'm calling it now. It's the Circuit Judge. They made a new one and it's called the Circuit Judge, and I know that that's what this is going to be.
45 long Colt defense pistol. I have one just for the meme, and it's about as bad as you think. But you know what? If we're going
It's a Taurus. Taurus makes trash.
to 410, 45 long Colt, why stop there? You could go up to something like, I don't know, 45-70. Remember when I said guns usually like to have thicker
It is not the Circuit Judge. It is worse.
chambers and breeches? Give the round a little bit of reinforcement? That's why. That's why. I was looking at this obviously cast frame on a 45-70 revolver, and that is what makes this cursed as hell. That, and you're probably cursed by the ghost of whoever was shooting that fucking thing. All right, next we'll take a field trip to Ukraine, where we've seen some wild guns come out of there. I mean, we had a whole video series on it. This one was just too neat not to talk about. It's what appears to be an old Maxim gun. If you're not familiar with the Maxim, we actually did a video on that as well. Probably age restricted here on YouTube because their guidelines about shooting safe, fully automatic, legal firearms, even though we have the proper licenses, it gets age restricted because the guidelines are gay. Anyhow, they seem to have attached a Picatinny rail on it for a scope, jerry-rigged a stock, and an AK Bakelite pistol grip on the bottom, with what appears to be a PKM drum on the bottom, so you can feed 7.62 by 54R through it. Fun fact, my Maxim's also chambered in 54R because it was a Finnish Maxim. Then this wacky shroud with a bipod, and finally up front, an Allen keyed on muzzle brake. Mom, we have PKM at home. Is it wacky? Yes. Is it cursed? I mean,
Yes.
necessity's the mother of all invention, I guess. Not gonna lie, the longer I look, the more it's kind of growing on me. Either way, on the
It looks like Stinger. I like it, but here's the problem. Maxims are specifically designed to be water-cooled. This means that they actually have thinner than normal barrels for what they are. If you air cool it, you are actually going to damage the barrel very, very quickly with more than like single fire use. So unfortunately, though it looks a lot like Stinger, and it certainly is like a awesome Rambo crazy type machine gun, the fact that it is air cooled instead of water cooled is an actual problem for the gun's lifetime use. That barrel will warp and burn out very, very quickly. Because like I said, their Maxim barrels are actually really thin because they're expecting the water to take all that heat away from the barrel instead of the barrel having to take the heat.
The totally opposite end of the spectrum. This one is from the reviews on PSA's website for the Pulsefire underbarrel flamethrower. They're usually meant to attach to the bottom of ARs and things like that, just kind of like as a little gimmick, a meme.
Also,
so to
I
speak.
want, but
Yeah, this guy put it on a suppressed Glock.
Oh my. Recover tactical brace. The giant silencer. Big 50-round drum. And an underbarrel attachment bigger than the rest of the gun. Oh my gosh. When you max out the starter weapon!
One that had a little gimmick, a meme, so to speak. Yeah, this guy put it on a suppressed Glock. One that has a brace attachment and I believe a silencer suppressor. And of course, the drum magazine.
How do you make that stay? This has a tiny little rail under it. It's supposed to be used for a light or a laser. Or actually for a Recover Tactical, it's supposed to be used for a forward magazine holder. This whole thing is supposed to go on the rail of whatever's on whatever's on top of it. And instead, like, a third of your rail attachment is just hanging on for dear life off of that little like three slot attachment.
Or the titty. A silencer suppressor. And of course, the drum magazine. Or the titty, as it's known in some urban areas. Putting it frankly, this is the most PSA owner shit I've ever seen. Definitely earning its place in the ranks of the cursed guns we have on the list. Alright, so this looks fairly innocuous. It's a Glock 19, albeit being on a printy boy frame, if you catch my drift. It being on a...
So they all have that problem. I've been dealing with this where this is like angled up instead of being straight back. And having to do my own modifications.
Printy boy frame, if you catch my drift. But upon further inspection, it's actually a Glock that takes Beretta mags, which is interesting. Then I started thinking of a name for that. I settled on the Barack. Thanks, Obama. Speaking of printy boys,
that is one of the better applications of 3D printing. Is what am I hitting? Is to use the magazines that are available to you. Though a Glock taking Beretta magazines is usually not the direction it goes because Glock magazines are unbelievably available to everyone. And also one of the rare 3D printable pistol magazines. Oh yeah, flamethrowers have no kick, which is nice. But yeah, it's... Normally, you're making something else take Glock magazines, not a Glock take something else's magazines. That is a weird application of this. Also, a nice little thumb rest there.
19, albeit being on a printy boy frame, if you catch my drift. But upon further inspection, it's actually a Glock that takes Beretta mags, which is interesting. Then I started thinking of a name for that. I settled on the Barack. Thanks, Obama. Speaking of printy boys, though, this next one comes straight from my buddy Print Shoot Repeat. It's an MCX regulator, which you can tell something's a little off at first glance, but it doesn't look too crazy until you realize this is a California compliant lower on the MCX, meant for a hunting style stock that somebody has put a pistol grip on anyway. By somebody, I'm pretty sure it was PSR. Thanks. I hate it. Also, we have to appreciate the inclusion of the free feet pics of his, I was going to say 2 left feet. It's actually just his left foot is where his right foot should be and right foot where left is. Fun fact about PSR, that's actually just the way he is. He's not memeing here. Some dudes are just born with fucked up feet. I'm going to put as much effort into this next one as they did. This is a Glock 17 that somebody added a bunch of fucking bionicle shit to, as well as electrical tape, apparently. Put a forward grip and a dot on. the quote, how in the fucking Southside Chicago Section 8 low-income housing environment BS is this? I can tell you just how Southside Chicago Section 8 low-income housing it is. That's a felony, because you have a vertical grip on a pistol. A lot of people don't know that's an NFA violation. It's gotten a little bit more lenient recently when people, challenging the definition of vertical being not exactly 90 degrees, but that's a vertical grip on a pistol. In good news, I'm pretty sure you can just take it and bend it and change that and make it compliant, but
I guarantee you that'll break off at the first shot, and the second shot will take off your hand.
But if stocks on pistols aren't okay, and vertical grips on pistols aren't okay, what about pistols on pistols? Now the ATF doesn't know what to do. Yo, dog, I heard you like pistols. Honestly, I would never shoulder that. That looks like that, that beaver tail would fuck you up. And now for the magnum opus from looks like that,
So is that... I'm trying to process here. Is that like a hollow front that it shoots through? Or is that just flat out here? I have this tiny little attachment. For my freaking 5.7. That's an expensive handgun. I have this tiny little attachment for my 5.7 that will break if I actually use it as a stock. Yeah, it's probably a holster, and that's a good way to break it, do a lot of damage, and probably shoot yourself multiple times on its way down.
that beaver tail would fuck you up. And now for the magnum opus from PNW Gorilla, desiring to have iron sights on his, sure-shotted out AK. Got the similar rail right back there. He decides to do this. Adding an AR carry handle and a front sight onto his AK. Thanks. I hate it. It's like he does this just to upset me.
Yeah,
I just hope that God is as merciful as you think he is. I think the thing that I hate about this most is how many of you guys in the comments are going to say that this shit is drippy as hell. Because I can almost see where you're coming from. I almost get it. But be not led astray. Or else. One quick interesting point though before we close out. I am actually getting a new studio.
There is an infernal dot that I've been trying to wipe away on my screen. I just realized he put it on the screen. It is currently right here. See? Wait for it to move. Now it's here. It looks like a dead cell in the screen. That has been driving me nuts. I didn't want to say anything. I kept looking away when it'd move, and I thought it was my screen, and I haven't been paying attention. I just happened to now be looking at that spot when it moved and realized it's moving. Brandon, that's mean.
I am actually getting a new studio setup. So I didn't think about it until I sat down to film this exact video, but I've had this set up for a few years. It served me well. It's kind of crazy to think, hundreds of millions of views have happened here, which that blows my fucking mind. But I'm really excited what I can do with the new setup as far as, maybe some better lighting. I'm excited for it. But I'm also a little bit of a softie, and I'm a little sentimental for this stuff. So this will be the last time you see that wall, and the next time I sit down and record a desk video, hopefully I've got my new setup ready by then, but I don't know. Closing of a chapter in a way. But that does close out this episode of Cursed Gun Images. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully that gets you off my back so I don't have to do another one until like next fucking year. Actually, this one wasn't too bad, which means you gotta send even worse suggestions next time. Anyhow, I appreciate it, guys, and I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon like a...
It's still there.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon.
Interesting send off to the wall.
Remember when I said guns have the thick... fuck. Remember when I said guns like to have thick... Do I really need to keep making that hand gesture when I say that?
Apparently the answer is yes. Oh, right, I have not watched this, but generally I don't react. I just kind of watch Kentucky Ballistics, so that's why we haven't seen them on here. 7 of the worst cartridges for... Ooh. I kind of like that. That has my interest. Sorry. ADHD does its thing. Cursed Gun Images from Brandon Herrera. Let us link out to everyone so that you have it. Your action videos. Yeah, when I remember to re-upload them, you are correct. They do get the most views. I absolutely need to remember to edit stuff and actually upload because, my gosh, I have been doing a horrible job of doing that. All right. Let us... I do, which is... I don't know how I feel about that because I don't want to be a reaction channel, but at the same time, it is getting views, so... That link should take y'all to Cursed Gun Images. You know what? Why don't we say screw it and see what these worst cartridges for when the fit hits the shan has to say, because I am curious No, here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch to Harvest Moon. We're going to save this. And then when we come back from the break, we'll do our second reaction. That's what we're going to do. Instead of doing 2 reactions in a row, we're going to actually play games for a little bit. I've switched to the Atari controller, which I forget how good this Atari controller is. It's physically light for a controller, but it doesn't feel like it's made out of the cheap plasticky stuff that a lot of light controllers do. And it is fairly snappy on the buttons and the controls. And while it uses the little doofy round D-pad instead of the actual directional, it still feels good. And we will not be maximizing this time. So I reduce the volume. You know, it's like, even though it's just a circle with 4 little dots to give you the directions, the way it actually moves and responds actually is really good. I gotta turn that volume down for me, too. Hey! As I say, are you a good swimmer? Truth is, the Sea Festival is tomorrow at the beach, and we don't have enough participants. Could you join in, please? We'll be waiting for you at the beach. Goodbye, see you later. I completely forgot about this festival. Yeah, it's like it's not, the Luna controller isn't bad by any means. It's just the Atari controller, the Atari VCS controller is better. Just feels nicer. Besides, like, yeah, probably. Wait. I really should have just been growing grass from the beginning in preparation. Alright, now what are we doing? Because I don't remember. Obviously we need to forage. Make some money. Do we need to buy anything, or are we just doing a quick forage day? I think it's just forage and talk to Karen if we can. Yeah, this controller's analog sticks are actually pretty worn from how much I've used this thing. Bird watching, sort of rare birds come around here. Red cap! Please. All right. So with this, we'll have about as much money as we're going to be able to make today. Yeah, Atari should do more making of like peripherals and stuff. Yeah, we just have grass and other plants, and I don't think I have a reason to grow more grass. Yeah, we are almost out of time to grow grass anyways. Just missed it. Why do you not... I already have a box, don't I? Well, it's probably still worth it. You say in an empty store. Understand their daughter's feelings. There are many things in the city you don't find here. I felt those longings. I want to go to the city, but my father won't let me go. See you later. A lot of the same stuff. Now you can start... I just remembered something. You can drink alcohol. Come here to drink alcohol each night and raise your tolerance. So that when the beer drinking competition comes around, you can win. This is how you do it. What do you guys think? Up to once he hit drink. I did not realize he was gonna just lie down. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, at 3 to 350, it's going to be pricey, but sure, we're gonna grab a liquor to start. We'll burn through our cash pretty quickly if we do this. But we are at least gonna start it. Oh, right, this will store our tools, but this will store our random items. And it's swimming hole day today. Yay, we're getting grass. One day. Rippy, where are you? Thank you. Well, this will be interesting. Summer Sea Festival and Swimming Contest celebrate the opening of swimming season. The winner is the person who reaches that flag over there first. Winner gets the Invincible Katori. I don't know if this has any weird controls or not. Swim by... Oh, here we go. Swim by pressing the A button rapidly with the proper timing. Here we go. Your mark. Get set. With the proper timing means as fast as you can. So, but it sure doesn't seem so. I kind of want to start over now that I know what the controls are quick. Because it was like, with the proper timing, okay, so is it like stroke, stroke, stroke? No, it's just hammer the button. Be nice if the Nintendo 64 module had a had a turbo option. Trying to get Rippy to head over sooner rather than later, please. Thank you. At least these days are really short. One time where we're thankful for that. Alright, assume the position. Oh, now it says rapid. Oh, well, yeah. Ah, my hand slipped! My hand slipped! No! My hand slipped. I'm not gonna worry about it again. So much older than you. Oh, it's been so long since I last went swimming. This feels great. I'm a good swimmer. I used to live by the ocean, so I went swimming a lot. Winner's Kai! Brazo, we sent to you later. Sickest picture, special occasion. Everybody get in. Okay, I'm going to take the picture now. Everybody say cheese! Today was fun, but it's back to work tomorrow. Oh, no, you don't. Actually, I should probably do some of that today anyways. Instead of foraging. Well, we'll forage and then we'll do that. Ooh! Now we have milk to drink. The only one to sell and one to drink, but we do have them. All right, we're gonna forage. Then we're going to take advantage of the fact that we can now regenerate some of our energy to do some cleaning. Technically, I could also eat some of the forage in order to regenerate energy, but it's like, but I can sell it, so why wouldn't I? Ability to regen energy by just drinking the milk that I also got for free, and that I can't sell, seems to be a better plan. Right. It's not super exciting, but even though it's not the only Harvest Moon and it's not the first Harvest Moon, Harvest Moon 64 is really the game that set the standard and the tone where people really like these kinds of farming games that led to stuff like Stardew Valley. Again, we're only doing this 1 year, and because the days are short, even though there's a couple more of them, this won't go for very long. I don't know what to do after this for the farming slot, though. Or if we're going to keep the farming slot. Because the plan had been to do Sunhaven. But Sunhaven has made some not good decisions when it comes to replacing people. You go away. In short, they did make the decision, oh, we can just have AI do all these people's jobs, and fired a bunch of people, many of them without notice. And it actually has apparently seen a pretty decent quality drop. So even though I had been sitting on it for a bit, it's like, well, I can't do it now. I don't want to encourage that. So I'm not sure what would be a good alternative for our Casual Friday farming slot. How about something totally opposite and terrible? Oh, you mean like Graveyard Keeper? What? What? Speaking of a game set in the city like Metro Sim Hustle. I haven't even heard of that. I don't think I've ever had this before. Do I just have to go to bed? Because the clock's not going to move as long as I'm inside. Okay. Animals. Oh! Really? No watering plants, no feeding animals. Oh, and of course some of my plants are now damaged. But this does mean I can at least do this. I don't think that's worth the trade, though. Drippy, get over here, please. Drippy? Drippy slacking. No! I immediately have to get medicine. Oh, it's a little late now, Rippy. I'm gonna save one of my corns. Okay, so it is half as much. I didn't know what the pill was. I didn't know what the pill was with the cow face. I thought it was something different. So it is, once you have a cow, it is half as much to get the miracle pill to get more cows. Oh no, I probably do need to do foraging now, especially. No? Fine, I guess we're selling the corn. Don't know what I'm supposed to store then. Okay, it's 27th, so we do have still a couple more days before I have to clear out in order to pick up those corns that I can't reach. I think I've got one more harvest in me. Glad they at least don't make the sick animals be an extended process. Especially since you can end up with one for such stupid reasons. And I'm pretty sure they only eat out of their own trough, so there's no point in preemptively loading the rest. Correct? Okay. Good. Wait, seriously? I have to harvest? Okay. The corns are apparently taking my watered squares with them. That may have been a problem and I didn't notice before. Okay, harvest is almost done. No! No! Well, it's only a couple days. I don't think I'm gonna need those, but just in case. Wait, I wonder if I can store the milk if I can't store the corn. I can. I'm going to. Ah. Alright, yeah, there's probably no way that these will grow by tomorrow. So there's no point in pretending. Yeah, so we can just sit down and probably do some clearing and prep. So yeah, I guess if I was ever going to destroy my crops, that was the time to do it. I have a plan. Unlike that time I dropped. Oh my gosh, the cherry bomb. Yeah, that was... The cherry bomb detonation was something else. Alright. I've already forgotten if this game will save plots between seasons. Because I can't. The grass isn't tall enough to harvest yet. It might be now, but it wasn't yesterday. It's not. Also, it's a little early, but I think we're going to call it at this season. Take a bit of an early break, do our reaction, and then Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to... You know what? Let's pretend... like we know this will work. Now that will be moved down. I hope that's enough to keep me from getting sick. Of course, I say that'll be moved down. That's assuming I can grow grass and stuff there. Yeah, this is real. Having a steady supply of energy in the form of milk is really important in this game. Can I get us? Can I sneak a second one out of you? Oh my gosh, you're a miracle cow. You're a miracle cow. You go away. Wait, where is Rippy? Did we brush Rippy? Oh, wait, no, we didn't even... Did we? Okay, we did. Okay, we did rush Rippy. Alright, I'm gonna quick check to see if what the farm has yielded. Okay, so yes, our plots did stay. I like the fall music. And we'll be able to harvest grass. So this is for next time, finding out what we can and can't do. Okay, so the only thing we'll be able to buy is eggplants. Oh, this tells us, okay. So, we will be able to buy 6 things of eggplants. And it won't take a lot to clear out what little is there of having overtaken. And we will even get a little bit of grass harvest out of this yet. So that will be our next time starting fall for Harvest Moon. I'm going to take a short break. Then we are going to react to the worst cartridges for when the fit hits the Shan. And then Baldur's Gate 3. So I will see you guys shortly. Okay. There we go. Let's get us rolling again. I'm going to do the usual reposting. And then we'll get started. Okay.
We all have a
So, this is an unplanned reaction. 7 worst cartridges for when the fit hits the shan. I don't have any understanding or context for this, so I hope this is good. I am just personally curious.
We all have a cartridge for when things go sideways at home, but if things were to go really sideways, enough to where you had to pick up and leave, the last possible thing you would want is a cartridge that doesn't make sense. That's why I came up with a list of 7 of the worst possible thing you would want is a cartridge that doesn't make sense.
This cartridge is called the Earg Splittin' Loudon Boomer. It is a real cartridge, and that is its real name. Just take that in for a second. The Earg Splittin' Loudon Boomer is a real cartridge, it's a real name, and it is a either 22 or 17 fired out of a 50 BMG shell. This thing moves at like Mach 12. For an emergency survival situation, my personal recommendations are collectively, well, in order of importance, let's put it that way. 22 long rifle, because it is common, you can carry an enormous amount of it, and as long as you can aim, it can bring down a lot of game for hunting, and it's still a bullet, it's still defensive. 9mm, again, because it's extremely common, and 5.56 for the same reason. All 3 of these are extremely common. There's an enormous library of firearms that can use them. Parts for most of those firearms are easy to get. And of course, just because so many people own firearms in those calibers, if something happens in a survival situation, you can probably find just a flat-out replacement if necessary. Those would be the 3 bullet calibers, with 12 gauge then probably being the shotgun. But, while 12 gauge is fairly common, I would not recommend it a whole lot. I would pick the rifle ones first, because while 12 gauge is great for defense and short range hunting, ultimately the actual bullet type projectiles are going to be more useful, unless it's something super specific like this or 5.7 handgun that are not going to be easily acquirable.
That's why I came up with a list of 7 of the worst possible choices you could take with you if you had to be mobile during it hit the fan. Keep in mind that there are much worse cartridge options out there, but these are the ones that I think a large amount of people might actually take. Starting with our number 7 spot, the 12 gauge, ruffling
There we
some
go.
feathers early. Sure, someone always has a 12 gauge in every post-apocalyptic or zombie-themed media out there, but does that mean it's a good option if you had to pick up and leave? No, but it does have some pretty enticing benefits. I mean, for one, everybody has a 12 gauge. I mean,
Yep.
literally everybody has a 12 gauge, which means that trading or finding ammo should be pretty easy, which cannot be said about any of the other cartridges on this list. 2, you're not finding anything more versatile than the 12 gauge. But just because I said versatile does not mean that it's good for every scenario. I mean, how far are you going to reliably hit with a 12 gauge? If you're using a slug, maybe 125 or
What did I just say? What did I just say?
150 yards if you're lucky, slightly more if you're using a Sabo slug, but if range is at the top of your list, the 12 gauge is definitely not the cartridge for you. And I know you might be saying, well, I don't need range, and you know, that might be
In a survival situation, you need range. And also, I mean, we've already gotten into it, but I've just feel like I gotta say it anyways. 12 gauge is the only shotgun if you're taking shotgun. There really isn't a point in focusing any other shotgun at all. The only reason why you might take something like 410 is if you have a 45 long Colt that can fire it, and I would not recommend that. It's very nice, it's very useful, it's not very common.
true. I don't know what your scenario is, but that's not the number one reason why I think the 12 gauge is a terrible option if you had to pick up and leave. The main reason is bulk. I mean, have you seen how much room a 100-round box takes up? You're talking about the same amount of weight as about 375 rounds of 9mm, taking up over double the space. That, keep in mind,
What did
you
I say
don't
about
have
22?
because you just picked up and left. Just to reiterate that point, that is about a quarter of the amount of ammo taking up double the space. It just doesn't make any sense. There's just a lot of wasted room inside a 12 gauge with the wad and everything, and there's just no getting around it unless you go to mini shells. But at that point, you're talking over twice the cost, less payload, and they don't reliably feed and everything. Now, if we're talking about a bird apocalypse, if that was a scenario, then the 12 gauge becomes the best option on the list. But what are the chances of that happening? Probably none. Still, the 12 gauge is far from the worst option on this list if you did have to pick up and leave. And slightly worse off at number 6 on our list, we have the 338 ARC. No, I'm just kidding.
I swear, for a second I was thinking he's going to say 45 long cold, isn't he?
Any niche AR off at number 6 on our list, we have the 338 ARC. No, I'm just kidding. Any niche AR cartridge. Which, thanks to Optics Planet for helping me out with this one. And don't forget the banana saves 7%, and it really helps out the channel. Anyway, what does niche entail? Basically, any cartridge oriented around the AR that's not 5.56, 223, 300 blackout, or 7.62 by 39, which, let's face it, that one's really not a good AR cartridge. And you might be able to make a case for the 6.5 Grendel, but that's a bit of a stretch. No, it's not because they take up more room, because they don't, usually. No, it's not because they weigh more, because they don't, usually. I mean, you can't even argue that.
Keep pulling out the Beowulf. Which is a cool sounding round, but has many, many issues.
Most don't offer either at least better power, penetration, ballistics, or a combination of all those three over basic AR cartridges. No, what this one comes down to is ammo accessibility, because let's face it, when you inevitably run out of the ammo that you could carry on your person, the chances of you finding any niche AR cartridge, especially the exact one that you're carrying, are slim to none. I mean, sure, you might get lucky and run up on a stash of 458 SOCOM or 6mm ARC, but is that really a chance you're willing to take? Because I'm not. Still, there are much worse options out there, like our number 5 spot, the 545 by 39. If it ever actually does hit the fan, the AK is going to be a very popular choice, for good reason. Even though I'm not necessarily the biggest AK fan, I get it. But what are most of those AKs going to be chambered in? Not the 545 by 39, that's for dang sure. Now, I did test the 545 a long while ago, and although it does offer somewhat similar ballistics to the 556, not quite as good penetration. That's what my wife says about me compared to her boyfriend. I didn't need to know that anyway. What I was trying to say is that 545 ammo is few and far between. Like, it's hard to find right now when society is working somewhat okay, debatably somewhat okay. So how could you...
It is easier for me to get niche 25 ACP and 32 ACP rounds than 545 for comparison. And like, no one uses those anymore. At least not in the US.
You possibly expect to find any 5.45 ammo when it's not working at all. I mean, sure, you might get lucky and run into a can of 7.6 ammo, but if we're being completely honest, 7.6 ammo sucks almost as bad as it would be to carry around our number 4 spot, the 338 Lapua!
Here we go.
People have 10 different ways to pronounce this. Anyway, this one does have a couple of pros. The first one being the insane amount of range you get. Like, insane amount of range. Now, whether or not you know how to use it, or whether or not you actually need it, who knows? But the second thing you get, especially over any of the cartridges that we've talked about so far, is a major upgrade in penetration. Something the missus tells me I could use, which who knows what she means by that. I think she means your dick. Other than that, really not a whole lot of benefits, especially when you see how much freaking room this thing takes up. But I mean, if we're being completely honest, it really doesn't take up a whole lot more room than other common magnums that you might take, like the 300 Win Mag. So that's not its biggest downside. Its biggest downside has to be that most people who buy a 338 Lapua buy it for the novelty of saying they have a 338 Lapua. So that means that finding ammo for this thing is going to be slim to none. I mean, I would even venture to say that most people who buy these things don't have more than a few boxes of ammo stocked up. Could be wrong on that, but I don't think I am. On top of this, you're talking about a significant amount of recoil.
Could be wrong, but I'm not wrong. He is... Yeah, that's the issue, and that's why 22.9 and 5.56 are my recommendations, because they're everywhere. Anything high power is going to be a little bit questionable, except in very specific scenarios, purely on the basis of he's shooting through steel plates. I mean, look, a bear is a problem, but it's probably not going to be covered in steel plates. Your AR with a 30-round magazine may take half the magazine to bring down the bear if you don't get good shot placement, but it will still bring down the bear.
Especially if you're not using a muzzle brake, which most of them are equipped with a muzzle brake, but if you are using one, then you're talking about giving your location away to everybody within 2 miles. I mean, these are insanely loud, just like our number 3 spot. But how's about our honorable mentions real quick?
If the bear is covered in steel, you might have bigger issues and want to go if the bear is covered in steel, why did you leave your house? Is basically the answer.
Like any elephant cartridge. No, just kidding. Nobody's taking an elephant cartridge unless you live next to Scott.
Unless you... Yeah? Yeah? Of course.
Then it might make sense. No, our real honorable mentions are the 5.7 by 28 and the 30.
What'd I say? 5.7. I said 5.7. Don't take 5.7. What did I say? Can I call it or what?
Then it might make sense. No, our real honorable mentions are the 5.7 by 28 and the 30 carbine. And guys, let me tell you, this was a tough one. Because with how lightweight and compact these things are, you can carry a metric shite-load of these rounds. But that also doesn't mean that I think they're great options either. Because while the 5.7 in recent years has been getting a lot of budget options to make it a more popular cartridge, it's still really not there yet. And the 30 carbine, there's no excuses there. It has been out for a very long time, and it's just not the most popular cartridge out there. And with current ammo prices above the 5.56, nobody's really hoarding this stuff, if you know what I mean. Having said that though, if you are able to stock up on these rounds, enough to where you could carry, a crap ton of them, then you might not need to find ammo, in which case they would make sense. Wait, what was that? This better be good. Let's see. Oh, speaking of stocking up, look at what Ammo Squared sent. 30 carbine and 5.7 by 28. How convenient. Okay, fine. I did have them send some of my stockpile for this video. Anyway, Ammo Squared is a service that I recently found out about, and what I like about them is that I can set a certain budget every week, or whatever time interval I want, to stock up on the rounds that I want the most. After a pretty quick amount of time, I have a decent stockpile built up, at which point I can tell them to send however many of the rounds I want, or Ammo Squared will even keep it in their climate-controlled facility, which is something sometimes the best option because I'll admit I don't always have room. So even though I don't think the 5.7x28 or the 30 carbine are the best choices if it does actually hit the fan, Ammo Squirt allows me to keep stocked up without really even noticing it. One cartridge I will always notice stocking up on though is number 3 on our list. The 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Not only is this one of the loudest guns you will ever fire, sure to give away your location, but it almost doesn't have any freaking pros other than being extremely powerful for a handgun. But with how much these things freaking weigh, it's hard to call them a handgun. I mean, talk about big iron on your hip. You might as well be carrying around a small rifle at that point. But what's even worse than how big these are is how big these are, with the average load coming in at a 400 grain bullet going all the way up to 700 grains. You're not carrying many of these, which might be fine if ammo was accessible. But just like the 338 Lapua, the 500 Smith & Wesson suffers. For most people who buy these things, I mean, I would venture to say even more than the 338 Lapua, buy them for the novelty of saying they actually have one. And I mean, if we're being honest, you are one of the coolest guys at the range with one of these until you fire it and then you piss everybody off. But that's beside the point. When it actually hits the fan, there's no more range trips, and the couple boxes of ammo you might be able to find really aren't going to do you any good, especially with the limited weight to range ratio of this cartridge. And I was about to include the 460 Smith &
I know multiple people who have bought handguns like that, who have fired them once to say they did and have never touched them again. They are miserable to shoot unless you're someone like Scott whose career revolves around showing them off. There's no point to those unless there's like a demonic invasion or something.
especially with the limited weight to range ratio of this cartridge. And I was about to include the 460 Smith & Wesson in this category here, but then I remembered it does have quite a bit longer range than the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Plus you also get the added benefit of shooting 454 Casull and 45 Colt out of it as well, which I'm not saying that either of those cartridges are extremely common, but at least that gives you the chance of finding 3 different rounds instead of 1. Now if we were facing a bear apocalypse, then the 500 Smith & Wesson would jump up to the number 1 spot on my list, at least for handguns. And speaking of handguns, how's about our number 2 spot? The 50 AE. Just like the 500 Smith & Wesson, this absolute beast of a handgun shoots 50 caliber bullets exactly a ½ inch in diameter. And although extra girth does feel good in the hand, it doesn't always equal the most pleasurable penetration, especially at 50 AE velocities, although we're still talking about 300 grain bullets, so it does offer pretty freaking good performance for a semi-auto handgun. What isn't good for a semi-auto handgun is the weight. Look at this monstrosity here. Just like the 500 Smith &
With
Wesson,
almost no
it
ammo.
is hard to call this thing a freaking handgun. You're basically talking about lightweight rifle territory. You're either going to need one hell of a belt to support this thing, or your pants are just going to be falling down the whole time. I'm used to my pants around my ankles. But even worse than that, even more so than any other cartridge on this list, the 50 AE, specifically the Desert Eagle, is bought as a novelty gun. Whether it's movies, TV shows, or video games, the Desert Eagle is probably the most iconic handgun of all time, which means that everybody wants one. What not everybody wants is to stock up on 50 AE ammo, and let me tell you, this is some high dollar stuff. I would even venture to say you could probably find a Desert Eagle to trade for before finding 50 AE ammo in this scenario. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but if for some insane reason you're dead set on carrying a full-size Desert Eagle, you're done. But the only one that makes sense, at least in my mind, is the 44 Magnum, and even then, you're talking about a considerable amount of weight, but still not even close to the amount of weight of our number 1 spot, the 50 BMG, with the average rifle setup coming in to the amount of weight of our number 1 spot, the 50 BMG.
Didn't realize that was like 12 by 7 by 108, which is the Russian equivalent of 50 BMG.
With the average rifle setup coming in at 30 pounds plus. I would say that nobody's dumb enough to take one of these if they had to pick up and leave, but I also know that there's a certain percentage of people that you know deep down have wet dreams about taking out a Humvee or, you know, whatever at 1,000 yards. In this scenario, the good thing is with the absolutely insane amount of power and range you have at your disposal paired with the AP options on the market, you could probably do that if you want to, but is it a realistic scenario? Probably not, which that begs the question, do you really need a 50 BMG for 99.99% of any of the other scenarios that might come up? I'm gonna say no, so that leaves us with a 30-pound plus overkill monstrosity on our backs, which is only the beginning of our problems. If you think the 338 Lapua is loud, it is, but the 50 BMG says, hold both my beers. We don't care if everybody on this half of the continent knows where we're at. Maybe a bit of an over-exaggeration, but not much. Anyway, if you think the 12 gauge takes up a lot of room, the 50 BMG takes up more room than 2 12 gauge rounds, and it weighs almost almost 1.5 times as much, meaning that carrying any significant amount of ammo is not an option, so you're going to need to find it pretty quickly. Problem with the 50 BMG, maybe even as much as the 50 AE, is that people who buy these things typically only buy them to say that they have a 50 BMG. I mean, who doesn't want to say that they have a 50 BMG? I don't. Problem is, when the gun is primarily bought to sit in the safe, stocking up on ammo, especially with the cost that it is, isn't necessarily a priority for most people. So that means the 50 BMG that we've been carrying just turned into a 30-pound plus paperweight, and at that point, I guess the only thing you could really do is pull off the barrel and use it as a bat, if that's even an option. But I really hope you enjoyed my list. I'm sure it's a little bit different from yours, so make sure to talk about it in the comments section down below. Remember, don't let ballistics drive you bananas.
I
and
can't
make
believe
sure
I
to check
called
out
as
these
much of that
videos
as I
here.
did. I am quite pleased with myself for calling as much of that as I did. I'm pleased with myself. Yeah, so that was Banana Ballistics. So one moment while I get the link up for y'all. Thank you. Got an army, you're an RPG protagonist and everything is armored by halfway through the game. Oh my gosh. There's a few who bought them, mount them on the wall and never yeah, there's that too. I don't have the budget to buy anything I'm not going to use right now, with the exception, of course, the little collector's pocket Colt that I have, which is also like, the problem with those is not price, it's rarity, because it's a little Colt 25 ACP. There generally aren't big fights over them, at least not compared to other collectors.
We all have a cartridge.
Okay, let's just get this linked out to everyone. There you go. So yeah, that is Banana Ballistics. I've seen a couple of his things. They usually follow this similar kind of tone. He's pretty good at what he does. I didn't know he had done that. I'm not like a super serious follower of him. It's just he's usually testing like some random cartridge versus cartridge. And it's like, oh, well, that's interesting. That has my attention. Please. This game has been taking its time loading since the update. Might have gotten it started while I was waiting for the, there we go. And I've been testing the isekai. I actually managed... Get this. Even with as overpowered as the isekai classes are, I actually wasn't able to completely clear the... completely clear the final Nautiloid fight. I've been playing with this. I am... Alright, we're going to let this load so I can reinstall it quick. Oh, I guess they removed it for issues because I definitely had. It was from this. Oh, it's hard for a level 1 to clear 6 level 4s even if they can't kill you. The mind flayers in this with my mods are upgraded to level 8. The Cambions are still level 4. But the mind flayers are upgraded to level 8. At least for that fight. Yeah, we were using Bitter Hotbar 2. This has the most downloads, so we're going to see what a reinstall here does. Yeah, it's 2 level 8 Mind Flayers. The commander whose level I forget, and 2 level 4 Cambions, followed by the 2 more level 4 Cambions that come in afterwards. So that's 4 level 4 Cambions, 2 level 8 Mind Flayers. I forget how. I think the commander's level 6. And then a bunch of like level 1 and level 1/2 intellect devourers, imps, and hellbores. So even with a lot of save scumming to be like, I gotta get the good hit on this guy, or in many cases, I gotta hit this guy because of a lot of misses, even though the isekai character gets advantage on attacks automatically. Do I not have my tab?
Watching me.
Oh, right, because I don't have a party yet. So I have my scimitars, hand crossbow, trying to remember what I have. Honey?
I have something to ask.
You're alive. I'm alive. How is this possible?
Perhaps some dramatically timed divine intervention?
The divine tend to keep their interventions close to the chest. Though, I suppose it's not impossible.
You have any idea where we are?
No, I don't recognize this place. But anything's an improvement on where we just came from. First things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads.
We? You went to stay together?
We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company.
All right, let's get moving.
One thing, just before we go. I wanted to thank you again for freeing me. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past my pod, but you didn't. I'll remember that. Lead the way.
All right, and we did get some decent level ups from how... Oh, wait, no. The other save, never mind. We've only got like one level up, never mind. And we do need to get Withers to change her, because she is a trickery domain, and we don't want that. All right, so restoration, spiritual weapon. Guiding bolt, bless, healing word, and sanctuary. Alright, we gave her lucky, we upgraded her... No, we didn't upgrade her stats. Right, we only gave her lucky. We only got one level. Right, duh. I think the next thing we need to do, though, is upgrade her stats. Because she can't hit worth anything. Oh, I do know there's a fight up here that we got to get into quick.
Better stay back. One strike will be lethal.
Got to concentrate. Moving.
Alright, what are... 85% to hit? Yeah, right. 80% to hit. See? See? What did I tell you? 85% to hit. Here's your 5. Needs a 7. I'm not going to use lucky on this first fight.
I can't even catch my breath.
Alright, you don't have Booming Blade. You don't get Booming Blade, do you? Darn it. See, he has disadvantage and still a 90% chance to hit. However, I will stick to regular sword attack. No, apparently, I would have been better off using the Eldritch Blast for range, for damage. What pinged? I don't have any pings. What ping? Well, okay, Eldritch Blast has a higher basement, assuming I hit. He's already almost dead.
Talk to me. On I go.
$55%. Wait a minute.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Oh, wait, no, he doesn't have any more actions. Darn it. Oh, thank you for missing. And these are just new NPCs. They don't have any dialogue or anything, but it's just like, hey, more people to save. Grab a drink. I'm fairly certain it's all yours anyways.
Something good
More
here,
people to
I hope.
save, and they are intellect devourers to kill for XP.
Light on my feet. What's
But yeah, unlike a lot of normal fights, it does not pause whenever you try to sneak up on it. So while you're trying to get in a position, they will just slaughter them. Probably because it's an extra fight that's been added to it.
Fresh water. There must be a settlement nearby.
What happened to my mouse? Mouse, move. Mouse, thank you. What is going on with my mouse? It was fine all week, and now all of a sudden, nope. Now, there is a trick to getting her to have at least a cantrip that hits fairly consistently. You have to get her produce flame, which is sort of an attack spell second. It's technically just a create light spell that you happen to be able to throw the light at an enemy to hurt them. But it will actually, at least for me, be far more consistent for actually being able to hit targets. Which I understand wisdom versus intelligence. She has intelligence for her regular firebolt, and that's why that misses. I don't know why the rest of her spells and attacks absolutely refuse to hit, though. Yep, there's now 4 of these guys. Hmm. Miss being a warlock. You want to push him into the fire. $55 freaking percent. It really is probably, yeah, best to clear them out while we can.
Got to move.
I don't want to burn my spells in these early fights. Can I can. I'm not going to pretend like flight isn't a very powerful ability. Shadowheart! Alright, now she has to just... and not do any damage. You don't have any potions. That's not good. Well, if I can keep them dashing after me, I can at least slow their ability to gang up on us.
Wonder if the gods are watching me. Shouldn't have made me your enemy.
You fight well. Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant prospect.
Oh, I didn't loot you? Okay, well, there's nothing to loot. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be paying a lot more attention in these fights, even with the ability to fly. Right. Don't have the spell for it anymore, or abilities, so...
Might be useful. Anything of use?
The potion of animal speaking. I'll also take the mask. I didn't mean to pick that up. I meant to open it. How's that look with the wings? Um... Let's do that for now. Wrong button. Actually, you should have. Right, I'm a bard. I get to use the new. I get to use not the new, but the bard hat. It actually does good. I haven't played in a bard for a while, so I forgot that I can actually use the hat. Early game is just running around grabbing everything because we're gonna need it. No, right, now to pick a fight with a Starian.
Hurry! I've got one of those brain things cornered. There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others?
Well, chat, well, actually, no, there's no meaningful choices here. I'm just gonna see if I get to hit him.
There. Can you see it? Shh. Not a sound. Not if you want to keep that darling neck of yours. And you, keep your distance. No need for this to get messy.
I need him alive. Stow that blade, or I'll show you just how messy things can get.
Promises, promises. But I have other business, I'm afraid. Now, I saw you on the ship, didn't I? Not?
I mean, this is a pretty stupid decision from Astarion, but I mean, we get used to it. Ha!
You wriggling little... Ah!
Your mind twists. You're looking out of unfamiliar eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light, the fear.
What was that? What's going on?
Strength, +1, dexterity, +4. I swear my dice hate me. Thank you for the lemon. Picking a fight with a star is like picking on the one kid in class who insists he's badass, but no one has ever seen them do anything.
I saw into your mind. They took you. Just the same as me. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies.
Better more to offer than apologies. I do not like Astarion all that much,
so
personally.
I hope an introduction will suffice. My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me.
Baldurian 2.
Is that so? We clearly move in different circles. So, do you know anything about these worms?
They'll turn us into mind flayers.
Turn us into... Of course it'll turn me into a monster. What else did I expect? Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control these things, there might still be time.
Control it? We need to get rid of it.
Well, yes, of course. But first things first.
Travel with me, odds are better together.
I was ready to go this alone, but maybe sticking with the herd isn't such a bad idea. And you seem like a useful person to know. All right. I accept. Lead on.
I'd call it spoilers, but it was obvious from the moment they first showed the character. The worm is the reason he is not bursting into flames right now.
Away! Away!
Calm down, I won't hurt you.
You're all the same. Too many of my kind died because of your spears, but not me!
Alright, I don't know why I keep forgetting that there isn't a check. He just runs away. To be fair, Astarion's amusement at turning into a monster is pretty spot on. Yeah, he's already a monster. Alright. Oh, right, what's the new... Ooh, what is the new thief class that we're building him for? Not thief, rogue class. Three new subclasses, patch 8. Swashbuckler. Okay, so normally I build him as like a as like a nuker archer by combining assassin and gloomstalker. So swashbuckler rogue. I have not done any swashbuckler rogue type things. The nerfed version I could... Oh, right. Which means he is going to primarily be a melee rogue, with his sneak attack being his big deal. So, I guess Great Weapon Master is our first one, because sneak attack advantage to hit, then we have our -5 to attack roll. Live and breathe the art of the blade, silent single combat, thanks to your quick feet and wits. You get fancy footwork. If you make a melee attack against a target, that target can't make opportunity attacks against you for a turn. Rakish Audacity. Gain +2 bonus to initiative rolls. The scales with your rogue level. You no longer need advantage to trigger sneak attack as long as you are within 5 feet of the target and don't have disadvantage. Okay, cool. So that just makes Great Weapon Master even more useful. Oh! What weapon? Yeah, I can't... You could tell how much rogue stuff I do. Can he use pole arms? BG3 Wiki, not Fextra Life, who is a scumbag. Equipment, hand crossbows, long swords, rapier, short swords, simple weapons. No, he does not get the good pole arms. Right, I was thinking it might be neat to make him a polearm master and give him sentinel to go with all this. Which, polearm master sentinel is a pretty big stereotype anyways. Let's give him defensive... Ooh, wait a minute. Let's give him dual wield and we can like give him 2 rapiers. I don't have dual wield. Oh, do I have dual wielder? I could also do 2 rapiers. I'm an idiot and didn't think about it. Now I'll give him a rapier and a short sword. And he's gonna need all the help he can get when it comes to picking locks. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I have dual wielder, so I could do 2 rapiers too. I might look into doing 2 long swords instead, just for some variety and things. No, I'd have to do 2 rapiers. Because I'm a dex build. Now there's another fight down here. Oh, right.
At least things have stayed interesting.
There's now a bear here.
Someone there? Let's turn someone inside out.
Pleasant. Oh, right. Only if he's like at point blank range.
Into the shadows.
Thankfully, an unarmed bear with 52 hit points.
No choice
And it's going straight for Astarion. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this lying to me? I'm not using a ranged attack. What is this? What is this? So I don't have disadvantage, and I'm within 5 feet of the bear. Oh, I needed to take another step closer.
On my way.
Alright, can any of you see the rock?
Grooves in the mud around that rock. Whatever comes, I'm ready.
It's been a long day. I'll need to rest soon.
No, you won't. You won't rest for hours.
One day I'll catch a break. What's inside?
My playstyle is to push each day as far as I can because the long rest advance things. And I may miss things otherwise.
It hurt.
You approach the dying monster. This is the thing that abducted you. You could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion. You can't move, can't think. Thinking is mercifully done for you. It will be a joy to serve, to die for it an honor. It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it, but then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere.
Of course, on the pointless roll, I get a good one.
Your minds fuse, lusting for something that is gone. But then its grip claws back with a vengeance, a vice locking your mind into obedience. It needs sustenance to survive, and with your very body, you can provide. The monster lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
Monster. Death is too good for it.
Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
What's going on with that rope? Looks unstable somehow.
Game. Mouse.
I'll give it a shot.
Approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning. It looks slightly dangerous.
A hand? Anyone?
More guidance, please. I like the redone guidance where now it's just a reaction for a one-shot.
Whatever you're doing is working wonders. Now a quick little pull should do the trick. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep. Apologies. I'm usually better at this. A bit shocked, but friend, it's a relief and a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking. You were on the Nautiloid as well.
Never mind the Nautiloid. How'd you get stuck in that stone?
I don't know what transpired exactly, but the ship broke into pieces and I suddenly found myself in freefall. As I was plummeting to certain death, I spied a glimmer quite near where I estimated my body to impact with less than savory propulsion. Recognizing this glimmer to be magical in nature, I reached out to it with a weaving of words and found myself on the other side, as it were. How about you? How did you survive the fall?
I took control of the ship and landed it safely and saved the day.
That vast burning wreckage behind you somewhat contradicts your story, but here you stand. So who am I to argue? Still, swashbuckling heroics aside, I have the unfortunate suspicion your survival is still very much in jeopardy. Back on the ship, you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region. Were you not?
Couldn't have phrased it more repellently myself.
No use sugarcoating it, is there? The insertee we speak of, this parasite, are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it will turn us into mind flayers? It's a process known as ceremorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided. You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor? Surgeon? Uncannily adroit with a knitting needle?
You seem to know enough about our condition to realize it's beyond most clerics' skills.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few. You don't happen to be one of them.
I can tend the basic wounds and ailments, but alien parasites, I'm afraid not.
As we've established, few enough can. It's not exactly a common affliction. We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more and look for a healer together?
Sounds like a plan. You're welcome to join me.
Most excellent. A parasite shared is a parasite halved, or something to that effect. Oh, but before you think you're about to embark on a journey with most ill-mannered a man, thank you for pulling me out of that stone. It was an act of foresighted kindness, I assure you. For I have the feeling ample opportunities will present themselves for me to return the favor.
And Gale is about to become a blade singer. No. Right, he is going to be our key to Longstrider. We will find familiar. Starian. I am a smarmy bastard and I know it. Sky is smarmy. Still, I like Gale more than a star. What should we give him? Dagger, sickle, short sword, rapier, scimitar, or a longsword? Alright, Astarion and I are already going to be fighting over rapiers. Oh no. Dex. He's going to be another rapier guy. Right, 3 of us are going to be fighting over rapiers. Hey, Gale, you're frontlining. What? He's got another level, so we can ignore the spells. Defensive duelist will help keep him alive. Okay, now second level spells. Knock is always extremely useful to take. I want Detect Thoughts on Tav, not him. Given he's a blade singer, magic weapon could be really good for him. Though, yeah, let's do mirror image for survivability, and then we'll get flaming sphere on him soon enough. All right. Proactor alert at the charger. Actually, Warcaster would probably be good. Advantage for saving throw and concentration. He's gonna be in it. He needs it. And he can cast Shocking Grasp as a reaction. Now we can worry about his spells. Oh good, it already gives him a rapier for free. Yeah, have a crossbow.
Excellent choice.
Okay, familiar for blinding. And I think I can immediately swap out then. Let's see. That's not concentration. That's just a permanent thing in this game, isn't it? Yeah. So I could do that. Immediately give him mage armor. Not worry about getting him better armor immediately. Give everyone a long strider for better mobility in combat.
No one back home will ever believe this. Best be on my way.
So now Gale is the last person to need to worry about armor of our group, because that's default AC of what, 15? Oh, no, never mind. His AC is actually already pretty bad. 14. Blade Singer, using the Blade Song does improve, but he only has a couple shots a day.
Zoro was right. Yellow as a toad, and twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, a guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
Get rid of them.
And Lae'zel is our archer. Rather demanding for a woman in your position, why should I?
Your words flow to her, though you never speak them aloud.
I know what grows inside you, and I know of a cure.
Remember how keen she was to leave me to die in the Nautiloid? We can't trust her.
Bard, Deception, oh god, you got a scout to get the invasion force right behind me. Save yourselves!
Hells, this isn't worth it. I'm out of here.
Enough gawking. Get me down.
Say please.
Never.
Observe and listen. You'll hear goblins before you seek.
As you say.
I'll take that.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Careful. She obviously sees your kindness as weakness. Don't let her take advantage.
Simple thank you wouldn't go amiss.
You may as well suggest a wyvern bow to worms. The cure I offer will suffice as thanks.
What exactly is a crush?
It is many things. A hatchery, a training grounds, a shelter.
Githyanki protocol is clear. When infected with a gay tadpole, we must report to Augustil for purification.
Alright, we're journey together. Let's find this
You've made
crush.
an ally from Kresh Kalir. Few know such fortune. Call me Lae'zel.
I'll trust your judgment, but I won't trust her. Not until I've gotten the measure of her.
You've a sharp tongue, elf. Would that your mind proved its equal.
Half elf. I suppose the finer details are lost on a creature like you.
Come. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A creche must be near. We will ask this Zoru where he has seen my kin.
Nope, not a Battlemaster. She is an arcane archer. Yep, she gets to be a backliner. Capable of weaving magic into her attacks, giving your archery a supernatural quality. Your foes something to fear. Cantrip, 3 arcane shots and a subclass feature. Arcane arrows, used to cast arcane shots. Guidance, light, and true strike. Wow, this is gonna be like one of the only times where true strike is really gonna be useful. True strike is such a bad cantrip. Okay. Ooh, lots of shots. I am not familiar with a lot of this either, so what do we have? Banishing arrow, potentially banish target to the Feywild. Ooh. Beguiling arrow, deal psychic damage, saving throw, or become charmed. Bursting arrow, make an arrow explode on impact, deal an additional 2 to 12 force. Targets then on miss does not consume. Oh, thank you. Okay, so these do not consume an arrow on miss. Enfeebling does necrotic, become feeble. Take slashing damage when they move. And slow them down. Seeking arrow does consume the arrow. Use divination magic to make your arrows seek a target. Deals additional damage and possibly applies fairy fire. Ooh. Oh wait, so is this an auto hit? Oh, yep, there it is. This arrow always hits the target. So it will consume the arrow, but it will hit. That's why. Shadow arrow. Deal psychic damage. Saving throw, become blinded. These are good options. Piercing arrow, transmutation magic to attack all those within the line of your shot. Each target must succeed a saving throw, be dealt an additional. So is this always? Is this an always hit? Man, there's some good. These are tough to pick. These are good. I think bursting arrow. Seeking arrow. And grasping arrow. So then we've got 1 AoE, 1 slow, and 1 auto hit. With a chance to make other people hits. So we already gave her sharpshooter, which is the best thing for this. What else? What options are there for archer? Because normally with Astarion, then I'm piling things up for like sneak and movement and things. I mean, alert is always good. 5 to initiative, it can't be surprised. Crossbow expert does me no good. Lucky would be useful. Given your issues with hitting, getting everyone an advantage to hit is useful. Very. Lucky and mobile are both very good, but they're good for everyone. This is just for yeah, that's just for melee. I'm not used to these builds. Which, hey, this is something new to do. I think I'm going to give her lucky. Obviously, you got to be very conservative with your luck points. But, I feel like for having that for sure up front is probably worth... Well, I'm going to give her alert so that she can nuke things up front. And we'll give her lucky. And then finally mobile. Now before we go do the temple... Hold on, wait a minute. Let's do this stuff over here quick. We're not gonna trigger the goblin fight, but I'm gonna grab things while we're here.
I hear shouting up ahead.
Yep, well, it can wait.
But be careful.
And we can just teleport back. Now, I wonder... I feel like this is an area that a lot of people wouldn't notice, but maybe I'm wrong.
Open up.
You don't need flight, you just need a good jump range, but obviously wings make this easier. Actually we should probably approach the fight from over here, because we are just gonna pick a fight. Lae'zel needs,
I'm ready.
You have my attention.
Long strider. Or good athletics, or good athletics.
Interesting times.
Yeah, that extra 10-foot movement can matter a lot. I think this is one of the few fights that's completely unaltered. That we can just kind of storm in.
You picked the wrong fight.
Alright, you only get 4 arrows, but they recharge on a short rest. That's good to know. For now, we're just going to have you use normal arrows. Lae'zel needs a better bow.
On the move.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I could have used sharpshooter all in for that. Ah. I am Fury, I am Death. Here's a crap bow. Stop bragging.
They won't know what bit them. Let's go.
I could have planned this fight better. And then we can lock down their spellcaster.
The witching hour.
You cannot get into blade singing things range. Can you blind him, please? The answer is no. No, the bird cannot blind him.
Can't give up. Not now. On my way.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm not going to complain if they just walk right into the acid.
Victory awaits.
Shall we dance?
That's a crappy situation.
On the way.
You're kidding me.
Victory awaits.
Well, Lae'zel, guess you get to continue to be our heavy hitter. With, like, no chance of hitting them, apparently. Thank you.
Death is but a word away.
I need to get you Booming Blade. What was that move? Ha! Blind the spellcaster, please. Thank you. That was Gale trying to sword by. I'm not dignifying that was Swordman. She failed to push a bird. That's actually pretty funny. Getting real depressed here.
Yes, here.
I am fury. I am death.
Well, you don't really get those claims until you actually hit something.
Swift and lethal.
Thank you.
Taking position.
Oh right, you're still here. I forgot about you. Yay, I'm awake. Not yay, it's the bird, not me.
Got to focus.
Thank you. She has now failed to push a bird twice.
Let's move.
I will ascend. Make way.
Ah!
Wish I had a bag of holding. Breathe deep and move. Let's have a look.
No one can hit anything! You know what? I'm actually going to take the bags themselves. And in order to put them in a better position downstairs, now they'll all be looking at that and not at me. We also have a level up and equipment to send to people. Do bards really not get? There's no way bards don't get any of the booming blade. Oh my gosh. At this point, I'm gonna need to. Taking detect thoughts. I have Cloud of Daggers, which is also concentration because I'm an idiot. Not concentration, just always works. Gotta remember that I am a College of Glamour bard and should probably play into it. Actually, no, blindness is more useful though. Okay, I have Spell Sniper and Dual Wielder. Again, Alert, Mobile, and Lucky are just like 3 always good choices. I am planning on playing into the hand crossbows as a secondary ranged option once I get a second one, so that I can have an offhand crossbow. So sharpshooter and crossbow expert are actually pretty good. We'll start with crossbow because the high ground rules will really help. I mean, we'll start with sharpshooter because the high ground rules will really help. Blind technically does that kind of stuff. Yeah, yes. This actually makes her useful. Or at least able to hit things. I like how it just randomly rearranges everything. Alright. Actually, it might not have, and I just wasn't paying attention now that I think about it. It'll be good with electric spells. Alright. She got lucky. She got the stat increase. I mean, I could continue to pour into the stat increase to get her wisdom up as high as possible. Improve hit odds and damage. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Alright, what did you get? Flick of the wrist, flick your weapon at a target, and possibly disarm them. Ooh, wait a minute. These are bonus actions. Assault a creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll. Toss a handful of sand at your pocket sand. Alright, we'll give you defensive duelist now, because that was the other one. Improve your AC when you're holding a weapon. Actually, no. I think you'll benefit from mobile more. Cantrips. Yes, Booming Blade. I mean, enlarge reduce on self. Plus, oh, they're both concentration. Why is everything got to be concentration? You know what? This did real good work for us, so I'm going to stick with that. And just some regular nuking capability. I think that's the only one that needs to remain equipped for it to be sustained. Alright, he has Defensive Duelist for improved AC. Warcaster. He probably doesn't need Dual Wielder. Mobile, again, probably benefits him the most for hit and run. Because WotC knows we are miserable munchkins and tried to prevent as much broken cheese as they could foresee. Yeah, I think mobile will also probably benefit his ability to actually move in and out of combat. Fortunately, WotC dump stats wisdom, so they didn't foresee much. True. Like, the actual cheese in the game is far worse than just not needing to concentrate on stuff. Alright, and she's continued to do archery things. Alright. What were we gonna do? We got our sharpshooter. Alert. We were gonna give her mobile too, right? We just planned this and I already forgot what we were gonna do with her. Lucky and mobile, right. No, we ended up all bunched up in a corner and unable to move where we needed to, so... Mobile will be the first round of stuff for a lot of those.
Everything all right out there?
Yes, it's me. Let me in. Go back. Ooh. Don't get to use thaumaturgy very much.
You sound a bit shaken, boss. Hang on while I find the key.
Who the hell? You're dead!
He's the only one that didn't notice the block.
Hungry for the slaughter.
So these are every turn. These don't have a limit then. With advantage, he had an 88% chance to hit.
These boots have seen everything.
Now, the problem with this fight is there's a lot of them. And this does add more.
Should mind my step.
What is it? Stay low. Such an undignified position to find oneself in.
Well, it's a crypt, ain't it?
Ready for anything. Unheard, unseen. There is work to do.
Better tread carefully.
Can't see a thing from down here.
Alright.
Nothing.
All clear.
First shot is to risk... Where's your fly option? Hold on. Or it'll just immediately throw the bird into initiative. And then reveal everyone else. Are you kidding me? All right, sure.
Do the unexpected.
You've got to be kidding me. Art. The bird couldn't use its fly ability, got nuked, revealed the party. The only good news is these three aren't involved yet, so I can attempt.
Let's think ahead, or I'm lost.
To get free hits in. Am I going to have to actually use spells?
Blood follows me everywhere.
And I still can't hit anything. You've got to be kidding me.
Staying out of sight.
I don't want to use my arcane arrows immediately.
The end comes. Make way.
All right.
Can't afford any mistakes.
Oh, we've got plenty of mistakes already, trust me. One moment, my screen has decided to be dumb. You're not even connected to the internet. Why are you trying to update? Problem is, this is a point-blank spell.
Let me strike true.
Ah! Burn the luck point.
Let's see.
I missed this. Come on, can't stay idle.
Lock these two down, hopefully. I don't want to use my resources on the stupid chapel fight.
With haste.
You have got to be kidding me. Oh, Gal's dead. I didn't double the number of combatants in the chapel fight. She's the only new person. What do you mean can only be used once per turn? What do you mean can only be used? I'm gonna fall back to heal next time while I figure out what on earth is going on.
Moment.
I gotta remember, I'm here for Eldritch Blast, not melee. Dirty Tricks are bonus actions. But the sneak attack isn't a bonus action.
Let me strike true. Heading there.
Time to strike.
Right, you cannot hide. Ah! And then I do like next to no and then she does next to no damage. Actually, no. She still has some of the only tank we have. Gale is probably screwed. Or not. Well, we're ending at this fight anyways. How?
Quickly.
Ah! That 5 should not be affecting it on advantage. That can't possibly be affecting that.
Breathe deep and move.
Fall back for the moment.
Time to strike.
What fools these mortals be.
Thank you. Oh, and shoot Zai in the back. Listen here, you little blows up.
I?
Time to strike. Let my name be known.
All right. Yeah, just the barbarian.
My path be true.
Make it hurt.
This is absolute nonsense.
Let's go.
Yep, I need a second hand crossbow, so I'll have an offhand ranged option. A whole 4 HP. I feel so revived.
What should I do?
Oh my gosh.
What's hiding here?
What an absolute nightmare. I can't wait for the goblin fight. The goblin fight's gonna be awful. Holy crap. Yeah, everything from the start to finish, that fight was ridiculous. The freaking bird started the fight.
More for me.
I'm just gonna sit here angrily for a minute while and do this while I calm down before we end for the night. Good grief. And I still gotta fight the skeletons. And it was outside of view range. The bird was outside of the view range.
The air is ripe with magic.
Enough waiting. I crave blood.
Do I not have any health potions? When does the blade song recharge?
Yes. For now.
Long rest. Great.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Can you imagine not getting withers for... Oh my gosh. Someone just skipped the chapel entirely. I've never skipped the chapel. I don't know what happens if you skip the chapel and don't get withers. That'd just be a nightmare. So now, here's the thing. We go fight the skeletons to get withers. Or we go fight the goblins in order to try to get access to health potions. And then come back to fight the skeletons to get withers. Either way, my characters are hurt. in not great fights in front of them. I think I'm going to sleep on it for now. What I might do is raid the... We have short rests, but I didn't want to immediately be using them before we even got Will, whose spell slots recharge on short rests. You know, I haven't used any of my other short rest supplies type functions because I didn't think I need them immediately.
Can't give up now.
Oh my gosh. Maybe a couple difficulty mods all stacked together was not a great idea. But for now, I guess we just sleep on it and figure it out later. Oh my gosh. I will thank you all for hanging out. I hope you've enjoyed. Like I said, extra stream tomorrow. Reading, and we will be reacting to Shoe on Head. Her video on USAID, which is the Agency for International Development, not an aid agency. I do not have Song of Rest yet. I think I need one more level for it. Though knowing it's coming does take the short rest issue edge off a little bit. As well as, like I said, the Atari reading. For now, though, I will thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed me almost getting myself killed. I will catch you all tomorrow. I've got to actually edit stuff for once so that we have... so that I'm uploading the reactions, because up to is correct. My reaction videos actually do decently when I remember to upload them. Thank you again to Beam for monetizing me. And thank you all again. Have a great weekend, be safe, and I will see you, hopefully, tomorrow.